Hey there, you guys. Jacqueline Jax from AVA Live Radio. As a publicist and a music marketer, as well as a radio show host, I have been hit up so many times by indie artists. In fact, every single day it's about other people's demands. And I can honestly say I have some really good advice for you guys to get listed both on radio and also to get the attention of music blogs that'll gain you a lot more exposure. Let's take a look at an article that I just recently put out in our Medium publication, Music Insider. It's linked up below, and I think it's really going to help you guys get a better understanding of what you need to do in order to get featured on music blogs. Now, first of all, what's the value of a music blog today? Well, music blogs are actually springboards. They are really, really good. Now, I'm not talking about brand new ones. I'm not talking about ones that don't have a following or people that don't really exist in the business. Maybe there's just some people out there also starting music blogs just as a hobby and they just really love it. Now, it's not like they can't add value. They can. And if the articles are really good, they're certainly going to help you connect with your fans because fans like reading stuff, right? They like learning more about you. So it's just a way to get started. But as you get started and you get further along, you're going to want to get into more quality spots, ones that really do produce a high rate of return. And I'm going to tell you about some that do, that I work with, and some that I actually write too, that of course get high rates of return because I've been doing this for so long. But I think the big goal is how to get your music on music blogs because that's what everybody seems to want to do. And so that's what I featured in this article. Now, getting back to what they actually do is they're springboard because they usually focus on delivering music to an audience or to an industry. And the benefit of them is usually they are either niched down or they're really specific in doing something well. And if they're followed by industry, they're usually delivering really great information or great music. So you want to make sure that you actually listen to the music featured on the blogs you're interested in and see if they're not only for you, if they do feature others like you and they have sections that you can exist in, or if they are featuring really quality tracks. Sometimes these music blogs start and honestly, they're just not featuring good music. So it's kind of a waste of time because most likely if you check their social feeds, they probably don't really have an audience either. If they're really like industry specific, then they're going to have a mix of industry news and music production news as well as who's rising. Milestones. A great one that is a good example of that is Indie Music Spin. Indie Music Spin features not only new artists, but mostly milestones. So you can see that they'll talk about who's streaming the latest in the music news, but they'll also talk about milestones like when Perugia reached their first 50,000 track milestone on their Spotify list. When they got that many plays, it was music news. So this is more of a music newsworthy blog, and the reason why it's so great and does so well for the artists that I get it onto is because it hosts milestones. So it's always talking about something interesting, like when the Dalai Lama has a new single coming out and a new album. It's giving you a mixture of news and also who's rising in the industry. But it also talks about things like virtual concerts that are going on, live streams that are happening now, and it gives good coverage on a variety of things within the industry. That is what makes a great music blog. So you want to pay attention to things like that are going on. Now, what do I see as far as results from Indie Music Spin? For instance, Indie Music Spin, when I get an artist on there and we do an article, it can get anywhere from 5,000 streams in the first week on their Spotify or even 30,000. I've even seen some kick it off with like 100,000 streams. So it's unlimited. It really just depends. Timing has a lot to do with it. As well, whatever's going on in the country has a lot to do with it. Sometimes people are more home or more open. You don't want to typically post on music blogs too close to weekend holidays. You want to be part of like the New Music Monday pitch or New Music Friday. You also can post on Sundays are good days because a lot of people do the reading, but industry people typically do their reading on Monday mornings and during the week. You won't typically get as many industry people on Friday, Saturday, unless they are actually music bloggers, which is usually when they spend the most time hunting for music. So it just depends. You get a mix of that. I noticed that a lot of the traction on a blog like this, such as Indie Music Spin, is happening in just kind of like going with the ebb and flows of New Music Monday, New Music Friday, and you get that traffic on Spotify over the weekend. So there's really like a varied thing, but overall, a blog like this is great to feature your music because it just gets the right kind of traffic because it has the right kind of content. And that's really, really important. So another thing music blogs do is they appeal to the Spotify editorial playlist curators. They also appeal to radio coverage and radio DJs. That's how a lot of us these days find out about the best people, especially when the best people aren't necessarily taking time to send packages anymore. You don't really get a lot in the mail anymore as a radio show host. Typically, people want to reach out to you on social media feeds, and they want to connect with you as a result of reading an article that they read. And that's usually the emails that I get. It's like they'll say, hey, I read your article on this. We would love to get featured there too. How do we go about doing that? That's a lot of what music blogs do for people, is they just attract a lot of industry and they attract a lot of music fans. But they also attract those curators that we really want, because many, many playlist curators means a lot more exposure for music. And as a publicist, my job is to get a lot more exposure for every artist that I work with. Another thing that they do is event coverage. Event coverage is fantastic for music blogs. It's a great way for you to become a credible artist. Anytime you get posted on a very credible music site, it builds credibility. Let me tell you a little story. American Pride magazine came out with a music section, and they actually allow me to write for them. So in writing for them, I noticed that a lot of the artists that I wrote for, they not only got a lot more traction as a result of being in the music section of this blog, but they said that as a result, they came back having more money for their gigs. In other words, when they were featured and they showed this as part of their PR list on their website, gigs paid more and were more likely to sign them to their venues. It made them a lot more credible and trustworthy because they were featured in American Pride magazine and it was part of their PR. I think it makes a lot of sense because if you were a club owner and you were trying to decide on a new artist for your club, you would more likely go with the person that American Pride magazine wrote about than somebody that nobody's heard of, because one, you want to make sure they show up, and two, you want to make sure they're credible and that they are getting some kind of traction so that maybe they can draw. And also you want to know that that artist is interested in PR, because if they're interested in PR, that means they're going to keep pursuing PR. And that means that the club they're playing for is going to offset that. They're going to get the trickle down from all of the advertising generated by the band. So things like this, they definitely up the credibility factor for any artist. And that's what I usually use American Pride magazine to do. I think it's a great story. They're a great publication that feature a lot of different creatives, not just musicians, but a lot of people across the board. And I think they tell really good stories. I know that I have to be on my game to write for them, and you should definitely get on your game and get on this magazine because it's an awesome place to be. So let's go back to our Medium article and just kind of dig a little deeper. Videos also benefit greatly from music blogs because people go there to discover new music. So usually each one of the quality music blogs will have a mailing list. If they have a mailing list and you can subscribe to the blog, then that means other people have probably subscribed. If that blog exists for more than a year, then it's worth your time and energy to get on. If the blog is run by someone who is in the industry, like I have a lot of publications that I write for, but I also own some publications, then you definitely want to get on their publications, because the benefit of being with a good publicist is the fact that they have a wealth of knowledge in the industry, but they also have a lot of contacts and a lot of people following them. I've been in the business for over 13 years, so I have a lot of business contacts, and a lot of people follow me to discover music. And I've taken a great pride in finding and seeking new music every single day. That really does help, because if somebody is just doing this as a part-time gig, they probably don't have a lot of contacts, and they're probably not working within the industry very well, because they're just getting started. So don't spend your money on those people. Make sure you hire somebody that's really, really good and that has contacts, because that's what you're paying for. In this tutorial, I also talked a little bit about music publicity. Now, when you go for music publicity, this is how it's done. You have to have something worth publicizing. So not only do you have to have a great song, you actually have to build up some kind of a milestone or some kind of event or announcement. Now, I find some of the better things to do is to get on something like American Pride magazine, allow the publicity team to help you get followers that they already have, run you on radio rotations, and get some people following you, because you will build engagement. You'll get some quality music reviews in from them. You'll also be part of a really great community that's engaging, so you won't be alone. You'll be able to ask questions, get some opinions, and also start hitting some milestones with your streams. Now, once you hit like 50,000 streams on a song, you now have something that is newsworthy. So we can take that, and as your publicist, we can leverage that onto better blogs. And that's important because that's where a lot bigger audiences are. And you keep building like that. So it has to start, though, from somewhere. And the big thing that a lot of people have are unreasonable expectations. You're going to make a list of all your favorite ones that you'd love to be on, right? And you're going to check them out, really scope and see if people are getting quality exposure from them. If you see them posting about a new artist and then you see that artist actually getting traction on Spotify and you see their videos starting to do well, then obviously that's a great place to be. And you want to focus on that and have them on your list. But you always want to do the background. You want to do the history. Check into the people. If they don't have a face and you're buying something off of a place that you've never spoken to the person, you can't see them on video, they have no face, they're probably bogus and you don't want to move forward. A lot of people get in this trap of saying, I want to hire a publicist on Google, and all these really cheap sites come up that are trying to capture you pretending to be a publicist, but they're not. They're just generating like crap. I mean, you're paying like $99. You can't get a publicist for $99. So just so you know, if you want to work with a publicist's cost, a good one, is about all the contacts that they have and what they can do for you. That runs from $2,000 to $7,000. So it's probably not a good idea to hire a cheap publicist because you're just wasting your money. My opinion is you should go with AVA Live Radio and do a promotion with them. Start building your audience through them because they already have a said audience. Start getting those milestones on your streaming results because they already have delivered that to so many people and they will keep delivering that. I actually do a radio show for them almost every single day featuring all this amazing music that they get in from labels that they're dealing with, from other music blogs, from just referrals, from management, from festival agencies, all kinds of people looking to promote through that station because it's been there for so long. So you definitely want to do that too. You want to utilize what they have in smaller budget friendly promotions so that you can build up more before you sink money, like big money, into a publicist. A publicist taking on a new person is going to be able to achieve a lot less than they can if you've reached milestones and you have more to publicize. So don't waste your money just yet. Save it up and don't hire a publicist. I mean, literally, listen, you can come and hire me for $2,000 to $7,000, but I'm going to tell you that you probably don't have enough for me to do $2,000 to $7,000 worth of work in value for you. I want people to come to me when they have something. When they have something that's really newsworthy, then we can get it on bigger things. And that is where your money is best served. I don't want you spending the big money on stuff like that just yet until you've reached those milestones. At that point, then you hire a publicist. All right, so let's go back to the article I wrote. You use AVA Live Radio music promotion page, which is promote your music. You can submit your music there. I have a link down at the bottom here. avaliveradio.info/airplay. Submit and see how it goes. See if you can get on there, because you can still get posted from Indie Music Spin, American Pride Magazine. You can get on all of my publications, which are here, such as the Songwriter Journal, which is a great publication. I have Rock Nation that I just have been posting all of the rock features on and sending them to my email list. You've also got Hip Hop Rap Caviar, which is great for rap artists on the rise. But again, news and noteworthy. I mean, we want to put you somewhere where you actually have some value to offer the audience. We don't just post anybody. We don't just post to post. It's really purposeful, and it's somebody who has earned the ability to be there. They are doing well there because they have a story, they have a quality recording, and they are ready for that next level. So when you are there and you are at that point and you have something good, send it in and see what happens. You never know. You don't have to do anything. You're not obligated. Just send it in, and you never know what can happen from that point on. That's the point of everything these days. But look into who you're sending to. I mean, a lot of times people will just blindly send a bunch of emails out to people they think they can get traction with. They don't really know who they're putting their efforts into, and those people don't really know them either. So getting your music featured on music blogs, let's go through more of the points so I can give you guys some more tips. You want to build up your digital footprint with blog articles, milestones, perhaps your own blog will really do well. But you want to do this because you, one, need to get really good at describing yourself and talking about yourself and talking about your music. You need to test out how different articles written from different perspectives will do, and you need some music reviews. Now, you can't get all that through AVA Live Radio, but you can probably get that from, I don't know, maybe there's some friends that you can use too. If it's easy for you, definitely go to AVA Live Radio and get it. Start building engagement on social media. That's really important because anybody worth any value is going to check your social media pages. It's really important. Did I say that? Yeah, I did. Because that's where they're going to find you, and that is also probably where you're going to reach out. So when you do have a bunch of blogs that you're following and you're like, you know what, I really want to start developing relationships, that is never done too early. You could start right away. I would start hooking up with all the writers that you like their articles. Go and find them on Twitter, go find them on Facebook and Instagram, and every single day you leave a comment for something that they've written. Every single day you make a list and you make it a point to go back and you talk to them. Why? Because even if they just see your name every single day, you will become more familiar to them. And there is nothing better than showing up for someone without asking for anything. Because later down the road, they will know your name, but they will definitely, here's what they'll do. They'll go and find out what you do when they see the word musician. And they could offer you an opportunity. And that's why you want to stay in contact. You want to stay in the eye line of the press. It's the most important relationship. I can never understand why people meet people, they get an opportunity to know them, and they don't continue. They don't keep showing up for that person because there are lots of free things that happen. Like I know in my life, there's so many times I'll have a hole in something and I will just pull from my own fan base to create a story that I need or to add to a playlist that because I really think the song needs to be on that playlist and I need to fill those spots. There are so many times that I do free things for people. It happens every single day. But I only do free things for the people who follow me, engage with my content, and are in my eyeline. Simply, it's just like that. It's all who you know. Who doesn't know that? I mean, like, who doesn't know? It's like Hollywood. It's a small society of people. Everybody knows each other, and you can so easily just mention someone's name and bam, that person gets made. It's really, really like that. It might not seem like it because you guys don't all live in LA, you don't all live in Florida, but the internet is a small music world and so many people know what's going on that are actually in the music world. There's so many messages happening behind the scenes. I can't even tell you how many radio show hosts reach out to me to hook them up with interviews, to suggest people who are quality artists. They don't want to go out there and seek them themselves. They come to me and message me all the time for stuff like this. And it's just because it's easier. You know what I mean? And when you've done it for so long Off the top of my head, I can give them 5 people that I know that will show up. I can literally connect them through email and get them booked in like 2 seconds. So this happens with agencies, festivals, all kinds of things when people in the industry. So make your press relationships quality relationships and make them your top priority in the music business. Trust me, it will give back to you over and over and over again. So many years. Oh my gosh, it really does. Another tip that I put on here is start building engagement with social media. You know that. Get people talking about you. Focus on higher streams on your videos and your Spotify. Right now, those are the 2 most popular ways that people will discover you and that will also get you qualified as credible. I mean, basically, like Indie Music Spin, they're featuring people that have over 50,000 streams on their streaming link. They have a single that's recently out. It's out within a month or 2, and it gets 50,000. That's a feature I can write. So just think about it. What if your video goes like that? Heavily promote what you got, guys. And when you get something within a timely momentum, that's when you want to feature it. It's a footprint. It's a part of a digital footprint that you carry with you forward, and it's a building block. If you have story after story over a year's time of all these milestones getting hit, not only is that a great way for fans to discover you, but it's also a great way for you to build up press and be able to capture the credibility with a larger publication. But it has to happen that way because that's just the way the business is. All right, so start tracking down the writers, your favorite publications, follow them, engage with them, and I wish you guys all the best. I really do. If you want to follow me, I'm at Jacqueline Jax everywhere, all over social media. Be sure to share your music with us, especially at AVA Live Radio, because man, you will get so much value out of those promotions. In fact, you know what? Let's go check out the featured pages at AVA Live Radio. Right now, there are some really amazing music features. We've got everything from hip hop to rock to songwriter showcases, all kinds of playlists that you can be on, and they are doing really, really well. If you go over to our Spotify playlist, this is going to be interesting. So go over to the Release Radar playlist, which is some of the newest music that is just recently rocking along here on the playlist. And let's just go in and check out how some of these are doing. Let's go to Capella and Schmidt because they do a lot on AVA Live Radio. So their top songs right now, A Better Day, one that I worked on, 110,000 streams. Wounded World, just recent promotion I was just on, 294,000 streams. Make It Through Somehow, a new one I'm currently working on, 102,000 streams. You can see where everyone on our playlist is getting streams because they're being featured on AVA Live Radio. They're being featured in music blogs that I know and trust and like to do certain things for artists. And they're taking advantage of my publicity fees. I mean, literally just by doing budget promotions through AVA Live Radio. So they actually don't have to hire me as a publicist for $7,000 a month. They can do small promotions right through AVA Live Radio. That's really cool. Let's go over to a couple more. David Vaders. I love David's work. He's a great songwriter. So Freed from Jail is his new one, currently at 44,000 plays. He's had some other ones here, 176,000 plays with Red Sea. He's got some really great songs. You got to go listen to him. The Song Tailors, they're currently in promotion right now, and you have got to listen to them too. I really like Ruth's songwriting. She's just an awesome songwriter, and she's having a music songwriting contest right now, which is really cool, for her new song Together. Together and Supermoon are currently being promoted, and they are both bringing in 50,000 streams, more than 50,000 streams. Awesome. You Are My Tribe was a previous one we did for her at 55,000. So you can see where a lot of these artists are just getting promoted through the playlist system. It's such a great system to do. And it also includes you in music blogs. So how do you get on it? Well, it's pretty easy. Just go to AVA Live Radio, hit the submit your music link, and you can fill in the form and follow the directions. That will allow you to hopefully get a free music review and also get selected for some of the more promotional features, such as, I can tell you right now, some of the good features that you want to get, like this one that we did for these two artists that brought in some amazing streams for them. These are packages through the new music release radar that you can do by the week. The gold plan gets you on a lot of music blogs, including American Pride magazine. That's a good one. Story has to be good though. So do not sign up for this unless the story is good and it applies. The music release plan. This is a really, really good one to boost your Spotify. Why? Because when you're played on the radio, as you can see here in the diagram, it actually offers the fans a Spotify link to go and hear your music right on Spotify. At that time, they are offered the ability to follow you, to play more music, and to engage with you on Spotify. It's a great way to boost your streams, and the lowest plan is only $199. It's a lot different than $2,000 for a publicist. So you can see where there are so many good campaigns that you can do at budget-friendly prices for music. And if you're really serious about this and you want to build up this digital footprint and you want to really get on music blogs and just benefit from that whole industry, then this is a great way to do it. Just go to avaliveradio.info. It's so simple. I wouldn't tell you if it weren't an amazing result. Here's one of the results for their Twitter following. As you can see, 1.4 million impressions on Twitter. Does a great job. That's actually hosting my show as well, which is really, really fun, and lots of amazing feedback. There's a feedback page. You always want to look for feedback pages, by the way. Those are really fun to look at. Hey, look, I'm on the feedback page. That's great. All right, so here's some different results that we've gotten and some comments from actually the artists, which is really invaluable because I feel like a lot of these these new promo blogs that jump up, I don't really know what they're doing behind the scenes. I know that they're not doing anything real though. And I think the best way to qualify anybody to be hired in PR and music is really just to go to the artists themselves. All of these artists and all of the folks that I work with, they have no problem leaving feedback about my work. They have no problem about leaving feedback with the team and just giving them props for what they've accomplished, because simply they just do the work, and they do work really, really hard, and they know it. If you've ever been through a promotion at AVA Live Radio, you would understand this feedback and you would totally respect it, because you know how much it took to get them there, and you know how much the artist struggled before they reached this position where they were feeling so good about their promotion that they not only wanted to do another one, but they especially wanted to come back to AVA Live Radio and leave this kind of feedback. That means a lot to me, and you know what? It feels good because I know that I work really hard, and so does the team here at AVA Live Radio, and we want to make sure that all of the artists that come to us and invest in us and show up for us, they get what they deserve. We want to make sure that they're happy, they're feeling inspired, and that they have a really good, positive place to release music and actually get results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again soon. Don't forget to follow the channel, because I'll be showing up with more information about music marketing and chatting with you guys about all that I know and all that I find out. See you later. I gotta read some of these. These are really good.